The Little Princess Who Sat in the Wrong Seat. In the bright and golden kingdom of Sun Petal, there lived a little princess named Luma. Princess Luma was 4 years old. She had soft curls like swirls of honey and eyes that sparkled like morning dew. Even though she lived in a castle with tall towers and singing fountains, every weekday she went to school just like all the other children in the kingdom. Her school was called Starberry School. It stood at the edge of the royal garden, beside a pond where silver fish leapt like tiny arrows of light. The school building was painted a cheerful yellow, and its windows were shaped like giant flower petals. Princess Luma loved school. She loved her teacher, Miss Maple, who wore round glasses and always smelled like peppermint tea. She loved her classmates Benji, who could count to 100 without stopping, Amara, who drew the most beautiful rainbows, and Leo, who laughed like a bouncing ball. Most of all, Princess Luma loved her special seat. Every child in Starberry School had their own chair and desk. On the first day of school, Miss Maple had carefully placed name cards on each desk. Luma's card had tiny gold stars around her name. Her chair had a pink cushion embroidered with a small crown.
This is your seat. Your seat is your little space to learn and grow.
Miss Maple had said kindly. Luma had nodded very seriously. She liked knowing where she belonged. One sunny morning, something unusual happened. Princess Luma woke up late. The castle bells had rung, but Luma had been dreaming about flying on the back of a rainbow dragon. She had rolled over and hugged her pillow, whispering,
5 more minutes.
5 minutes turned into 15. By the time her nanny gently called her name again, Luma jumped out of bed in a swirl of blankets.
Oh dear.
She gasped. She dressed quickly. She brushed her curls in a hurry. She even forgot to tie the ribbon on her shoe properly. When she arrived at Starberry School, the classroom door was already open, and her classmates were seated quietly, drawing shapes in their math books. Luma's cheeks turned pink. She didn't like being late. She tiptoed inside. Miss Maple looked up and smiled.
Good morning, Princess Luma.
Good morning.
Luma whispered. She hurried toward her seat. But in her rush, her heart still fluttering like a nervous butterfly, she didn't look carefully. She sat down. Only, it wasn't her seat. The chair felt different. There was no pink cushion. There was no tiny crown stitched at the corner. But Luma was too flustered to notice. She opened the math book on the desk. Inside the cover was written, Amara. Luma blinked. Before she could say anything, a small voice behind her said,
Princess Luma?
It was Amara.
You're sitting in my seat.
The classroom grew very quiet. Benji stopped counting. Leo stopped tapping his pencil. Luma's heart thumped. She turned slowly. She turned slowly. She said. She looked around. And there, just 2 desks away, was her pink cushioned chair waiting patiently. Her stomach felt twisty. She didn't mean to take Amara's seat. She didn't want everyone looking at her. She didn't want to feel silly. For a moment, she wished she could disappear like a puff of fairy dust. Miss Maple walked over gently.
Princess Luma, what do you notice?
She said in her calm, warm voice. Luma swallowed.
I sat in the wrong seat.
That's right.
Miss Maple nodded.
And what can we do when we make a little mistake?
Luma thought very hard. In the castle, when she spilled her paint, she cleaned it up. When she forgot to say thank you, she said it quickly afterward. Mistakes were not monsters. They were chances to try again.
I can say sorry.
Luma whispered. She turned to Amara.
I'm sorry I sat in your seat. I was in a hurry.
Amara smiled kindly.
That's okay.
Luma stood up carefully. She picked up her pencil and her notebook. She walked to her own desk. She sat down on her pink cushion. It felt just right. Miss Maple clapped softly.
Well done. That's called taking responsibility.
The class nodded. And just like that, the moment passed, like a cloud drifting away from the sun. But inside Luma's heart, something still felt a little wobbly. At recess, she sat under the big oak tree, watching ants march in a neat line. Benji came over.
Are you still thinking about the seat?
He asked. Luma nodded.
I felt embarrassed.
She admitted. Benji shrugged.
Yesterday, I called triangle a square with a pointy hat. Everyone laughed.
Luma giggled.
Really? Really?
Benji grinned.
But then I learnt the right word. Now I know better.
Amara joined them.
I once coloured the sky green.
She said softly.
I cried because I thought it was wrong. But Miss Maple said the sky can be any colour in imagination.
Luma listened carefully. Maybe sitting in the wrong seat was not a big dragon after all. Maybe it was just a tiny ladybug. The next day, something interesting happened. When Luma entered the classroom, she noticed Leo standing very still, looking confused.
What's wrong?
She asked. Leo pointed.
My name card fell off. I don't know where to sit.
His eyes looked watery. Luma remembered the twisty feeling in her stomach from yesterday. She took a deep breath.
Let's find it together,
she said. They checked under the desks. They looked near the bookshelf. Finally, they found Leo's name card near the art corner. It must have slipped when the class was painting. Luma picked it up.
Here you go.
She smiled. Leo's face brightened like sunrise.
Thank you.
Miss Maple watched from across the room. Later, she gathered the class on the story rug.
Today, we are going to talk about belonging.
She drew a big circle on the board.
Each of us has a place. At school, at home, in our hearts.
She handed each child a small paper star.
Write your name on your star. Then place it somewhere inside the circle.
Luma carefully wrote Luma in round letters. She walked to the board. She placed her star gently next to Amara's. The circle slowly filled with shining names. Miss Maple smiled.
Even if we sit in the wrong seat sometimes, we still belong in this circle.
She said. Luma felt something warm bloom inside her chest, like a tiny golden flower opening. A week later, Starberry School had a special event, the Sharing Day. Each child would bring something meaningful from home and tell the class about it. Luma brought a small silver bell from the castle garden.
When the wind blows, this bell makes a soft chime that reminds me of bedtime,
she explained shyly. Benji brought a smooth stone from the river. Amara brought a drawing of her family. Leo brought a toy dinosaur, missing one arm. When Leo stood up to share, he hesitated.
My dinosaur is broken.
He mumbled. Some children leaned forward. Luma remembered how it felt to be watched. She raised her hand.
I think it's special. Even broken things can be loved,
She said kindly. Leo's smile slowly returned. Miss Maple nodded proudly. After sharing day, Miss Maple rearranged the classroom for a group project. This time she didn't use name cards.
You may choose your seats.
She announced. A small ripple of excitement spread through the room. Luma paused. She looked at her pink cushion. She loved it. But she also felt brave. She walked over and sat beside Leo and Amara. It wasn't her usual seat, but it felt right. She realized something important. A seat is just a chair. Belonging is bigger than that. That afternoon, as the golden sun dipped behind the school roof, Luma packed her bag. She looked around the classroom, at the desks, at the rug, at the chalkboard with faint math sums still written on it. She thought about the day she had sat in the wrong seat. She remembered her embarrassment, her apology, her courage. She smiled softly. When she returned to the castle, she told her mother, the Queen, about the whole adventure. The Queen listened carefully.
My dear, even queens sit in the wrong places sometimes.
She said gently.
Really?
Luma gasped.
Really?
My dear, she said gently. Even queens sit in the wrong places sometimes. Really? Luma gasped. Really? The Queen laughed. What matters is not where you sit. It is how you stand back up. The Queen laughed.
What matters is not where you sit. It is how you stand back up.
That night, as Luma lay in her soft bed, she imagined the classroom circle of stars, each name shining, each child important. Even if tomorrow she made another mistake, she knew what to do. Take a breath, say sorry, try again. Because growing up is a little bit like learning where to sit. Sometimes you wiggle, sometimes you wobble. But in the end, you find your place, and it feels just right. And so, in the golden kingdom of Sunpetal, the little princess learned a very big lesson. Mistakes are not something to fear. They are small steps on the path to becoming brave. And every morning after that, when Princess Luma walked into Starberry School, she looked carefully at her pink cushion, smiled at her friends, and remembered, no matter where she sat, she belonged.